Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Turtle Wins the Race Home-Based Business Podcast. My name is Kara Buntin. I've had a home-based business for over 25 years, I think. It's been a long time, and that's what we talk about here. So I was debating about whether I should even do this or not, because I only do podcasts when I feel like I have something to say. And I've done a lot before. I've kind of covered the basics. But I seem to notice a tone recently where everybody's tired, everybody weary. I think weary is the word. Okay, we're tired of Etsy changing things. We're tired of the economy being crazy. We're tired of not knowing if tariffs are going to kick in. Whatever the situation is. People are just tired of dealing with like the unknown, and you're tired of doing work that doesn't necessarily pay off. And I think that's really the key right there. And weary is the word that comes to mind when I think of the general mood out there with e-commerce sellers, because people are tired. Totally understandable. I was tired enough that I closed my business in December, so I don't sell products anymore. I have several digital products, or I have projects. I have several digital projects that I'm working on, some of which I do not talk about. And someone asked about that, and it's because people will trot over to look at the project, and then it messes up my stats. Basically, it messes up my traffic stats if everyone is just going to look at it and they're not actually interacting with it for the right reason. Okay. So I want to have clean stats on that project. I'm not telling anybody about it. And that's the reason for that, in case you're wondering. But I do have a lot of projects going on, and there's one or two that are going to take literally years, not months, years to build. And it's because it's a traffic growth thing, and you need to have patience, all right? And it's tiring. It makes you weary when you don't get immediate results that you can see that something is working. I have full faith and confidence that it's going to work by the end of 2 years. Like 2 years from now, it'll be working fine. Until then, I have to just adjust to the fact that I am not going to get immediate gratification, which is what I want. I want to see results right now. And I think everybody's like that. You put time in, you have to just keep putting the time in and then know that it's going to work out down the road. You will see incremental increases in whatever metric you're measuring, but a lot of times it does take years. It takes time, and you just have to do the work. And that's what it comes down to. The messages that I've seen and people posting questions and just comments that I've seen recently make me feel like people are really tired of doing the work. Can't blame you. Like I said, I was so tired of dealing with customers and dealing with Etsy's nonsense that I actually closed my physical product business and I switched gears. All right. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, to be tired and to not want to do the work. On the other hand, if you're going to see results down the road, you have to do the work. And sometimes you have to do the work that other people don't want to do. And I know that's a very old saying, and a lot of people have said that, but it's true. You have to do the work that other people won't do. And that's how you get ahead, and they don't, because you actually get things done. Now, I'm not saying that you have to work constantly all the time. You need to figure out for yourself, what are you capable of? What can you handle without melting down physically or mentally, because you don't want to do that. And give yourself a timeline. When I changed my website maybe a couple years ago, I flipped my website around a little bit, and I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. It's the same host. I can just change the template. It's not a big deal. Turns out I had to basically go in and redo a lot of things on every single listing, and it was a mess. And what I did is I figured out how many listings could I do per hour. And then I said, okay, now I've got 1,000 listings. I had a lot of listings. And I said, okay, this is going to take me 5 months. So I gave myself a 5-month timeline to finish this project. You have to be realistic about how much you can get done before you're just ready to quit for the day. And I said I'd give myself an hour. Like if I could do an hour a day, then it would take me 5 months. So I did actually get it done faster than that, but I did more than an hour a day. But I started out with a normal, a realistic timeline, because after an hour, depending on my mood, I was ready to throw the computer through the window, right? There's points where you're just like, I am done with this and I can't take anymore. And that's fine if you have a timeline that you know you're going to continue to do it tomorrow when you're a little more relaxed. So maybe there were days that I did an hour and a half. There were days I did 2 hours. It just depends on how I felt. But I did a little bit of work every single day, and I eventually got it done. All right, so you have to do the work, and you have to be consistent. And unfortunately, you might not get immediate results. And like I said, I want to see immediate results. I don't like it. I post something, I want to go and see that people are looking at it, and it takes time. It just takes time. Everything takes time. So the three, I'll say excuses. The three excuses I've seen recently of people asking about how to get this done or how do I do this are, it takes too long. Okay. I don't want to do it, and I understand that. And I don't know how to do it. All right. The I don't know how to do it is the easiest one to take care of because you can ask questions. We live in an age of the internet. We are so lucky to have the College of YouTube. Like there's the School of YouTube. You can go and find probably answers for pretty much everything. If you can't find the answer, ask in Facebook groups. You could ask people who are in programs that you're in. There are so many sources that we are able to research now. You should be able to figure out how to do anything just by looking around a little bit. Take some time, look around, figure it out, and ask questions. You have to be willing to ask questions. And I think a lot of people are not willing to ask questions because you're afraid to ask questions, but you can't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a question, 10 other people also have 100, 1,000 other people also have the same question. So you're not alone. You're never alone. Everybody has the same, and people have the same experiences just because we're human, right? So ask questions, do your research. You can probably find the answer. So that I don't know how to do it is not a reason to not do it. You can also hire people if you're really like, I don't want to do it. So we're going to move on to the next excuse is that I don't want to do it. Okay, so let's say that you know how to do it, but you don't want to. Or you're afraid you're going to mess something up. I've done that too. Like I've moved things around on my websites and suddenly the website doesn't work. So if you're afraid of messing something up because you don't know how to do something, or you don't want to do it because you think you know how to do it, but you're not sure and you don't want to see a bad outcome, you can always have someone else help you. All right. I just did a website review for someone and I went in and changed a few settings that she wasn't aware of. But sometimes you have to have someone go in and look at it to see what's going on. And that there was a lot of back and forth with that because I wasn't sure what she wanted to do, but I knew things that she didn't. So she didn't know how to do it. And then she didn't want to do it because she wasn't afraid, or she was kind of afraid to screw something up. And I was able to help her out. So you can hire people. But sometimes if you can't hire someone because you can't afford it, you just have to do it. That's it. You have to do the work. It comes back to you have to do the work. All right. The third excuse is I don't have enough time. That could be a very legitimate excuse. If you really have limited time, like you have a full-time job, you can't be doing this when you're supposed to be doing work for someone else, or you have kids and, elderly parents you're dealing with. There's lots of life situations that limit your time. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices and stay up a little later. You have to skip out on some sleep, and other times you just have to say, like I said to myself, I'm giving myself an hour a day. That's all I have to work on this before I'm going to lose my mind, and just expect that it's going to take longer. But not having enough time usually means I don't have enough time to do it all at once, and that's not realistic. So just figure out how much time you can devote to whatever project it is and do that much every day. But you have to be consistent and you have to do it every day. Even if it's half an hour, if it's 15 minutes, 15 minutes will chip away at it, whatever the thing is. And eventually it will be done and you will have done the work that no one else wants to do. Again, you can hire someone to do this also. If you have the financial means to do that, you can hire people. There are also a lot of tools out there now that help you get production kind of stuff done. So look around to see if there's any tools that you can buy for a cheaper price, and then it would be to hire someone and see if that works. But a lot of things have to be done manually, and it does actually will save you time to hire someone to go in and do it, and then you could be doing other things to make money during that time, and you come out ahead. All right. However, I do want to circle back because, like I said, the excuses are I don't have time, I don't know how to do it, I don't want to do it. Sometimes individually those are true, but sometimes that is the reason that you give when you're really saying, I'm afraid to do it. Okay, I'm afraid to put all this time in because it might not work. I'm afraid to do something because I might screw up my website. Whatever the reason is. I'm afraid to do it because I have ratty family members who mock me for trying new things, and I don't want them to make fun of me. There could be any number of reasons. I'm afraid of success. I mean, that's a big one for a lot of people because they don't like attention. If you're an introvert, I do not like finishing projects, and I know this about myself. I don't finish projects because when I was a kid, and I've told this story before, when I was a kid, I would do something and people would say, oh, that's so good. Oh, you're so talented. And I was an introvert. I was very shy. I did not like attention. So I think that I got to the point where I would do the project because I was enjoying doing it, but I wouldn't finish because that avoided the attention, right? So you need to think about this kind of stuff. But if you have a legitimate time crunch, if you have a legitimate physical limitation, that's one thing. You can still chip away at things and get a result done. It just might take longer. If you're in the mindset of, I'm afraid to be successful and to finish this project, I'm not even to be successful, just to finish projects. I'm afraid to finish this, or I'm afraid to start because I'm afraid, then that's something you need to figure out for yourself. And yeah, that it's tough, but a lot of times fear of whatever holds us back as creatives, and you need to figure out why are you afraid. If you are a grown-ass adult, you don't need to be afraid of people. Okay, if you have, like I said, a ratty family member who wants to just make fun of you, tell them to shut up. You don't have to be polite to people like that. If there are people in your life who are mean to you, you do not have to hang out with them. You do not have to listen to them. Because if they're mean to you, they're not your friend. You don't need to listen to them. But if that's the reason, think about it, get over it, and go do the work. All right? And leave comments, because I know that every one of us at some point will say, oh my God, I just can't take this anymore. I need to lie down. Well, go lie down. Go play a video game. I need to go play Zelda. You need to do something to relax. Everyone needs to have fun, right? Go have some fun. Go take a walk. Do something. You don't have to work all the time. But if you want to get from here to your goal, whatever that is, you do have to do the work, whether it takes you a month or 3 years. That's a situational thing, but you can get it done if you just look at it logically and actually are consistent. So I don't know how, I don't have time, and I don't want to, there are ways around that. That's just my lecture for today. I don't need to go on. I just feel like everybody kind of needs to hear this, and you can't expect immediate gratification, even though that would be great. That's what I would like. And I think all of us would just like to be able to do something once and have the result. But I am seeing a lot of people in my program and in my Facebook groups say that they have been working on something for a while and it's really starting to pay off. And that's what you want to get to, the starting to pay off point. But it does take time. It takes work, and it takes time, and it takes consistency. And you have to do the work that other people won't do. That's all. So leave me any questions, leave me comments. Have you felt this way yourself? Do you feel this way yourself right now? Is there something you've been putting off because you just don't even want to start for whatever reason? Think about the reason and post it in the comments. All right, and I will talk to you later.